In this module, we shall discuss about Human Development Index. Human development is defined as a process of enlarging people's choices by way of expanding their capabilities. Income is one of the many choices faced by the individuals, though not the only choice. Therefore, an increase in income is not the same as an increase in human capabilities. Human capability, as defined by Professor Amartya Sen in explaining the concept of economic development, is the freedom that a person has in terms of choice of functioning. These are dependent on the personal features of an individual, as each individual is unique from the others, and his or her command over the bundles of commodities that he or she entitles given his or her total income. As capabilities expand, there is development of self-esteem to eradicate the feeling of dominance and dependence which is associated with inferior economic status. Also, there will be freedom from want, ignorance and squalor, so that people are more able to determine their own destiny. Hence, development of capabilities implies freedom of all kinds of choices. Thus, we say that human development is a broader concept than simply inferring to an increase in income. After studying this model, you shall be able to know the meaning of HDI. Second, understand the advantages and disadvantages of HDI. Know the meaning and measurement of HDI by a new method, and understand the importance of HDI. Let us first discuss about HDI. The construction of HDI, or Human Development Index, is a notable attempt undertaken by the Pakistani economist Mehboob ul Haq to measure and rank countries' socio-economic development over time. The United Nations Development Programme (UNDP), in its annual series of human development reports, published it in 1990. The explicit purpose of the HDI is to shift the focus of development economies from national income accounting to people-centered policies in terms of enhancing their entitlements and capabilities as defined by Amartya Sen. It was made sure that a simple composite measure of human development was needed in order to convince the public, academics and politicians that they can and should evaluate development not only by economic upliftment but also by improvements in human well-being. The HDI was created to emphasize that people and their capabilities should be the ultimate criteria for assessing the development of a country, not economic growth alone. The HDI can also be used to question national policy choices, asking how two countries with the same levels of GNI per capita can end up with different human development outcomes. These contrasts can stimulate debate about government policy priorities. It can also be said that the purpose of HDI was to shift the focus from economic growth to economic development, as the latter is a multi-dimensional process that can forever alter the stationary state so that the economies can move to a higher trajectory of well-being. Moving on to the old methodology of HDI till 2009, HDI is a composite index. The key dimensions of the HDI are in terms of three social indicators: an index of population health and longevity, to HDI measured in terms of life expectancy at birth, which is defined as the number of years a newborn infant could expect to live if prevailing patterns of age-specific mortality rates at the time of birth stay the same throughout the infant's life. Knowledge and education as measured by the adult literacy rate with 2/3 weighting and the gross enrollment ratio with 1/3 weighting. Adult literacy rate is percentage of the population of age 15 and above who can, with understanding, read and write a short, simple statement on their everyday life. Gross enrollment ratio is the combined total of all primary, secondary and tertiary enrollment. Standard of living, as indicated by the natural logarithm of GDP, or gross domestic product, per capita at purchasing power parity, or PPP. PPP GDP is gross domestic product converted to international dollars using purchasing power parity rates. Per capita GDP is a measure of the total output of all final goods and services produced in a country in one financial year that takes the GDP and divides it by the number of people in the country. The per capita GDP is especially useful when comparing one country to another because it shows the relative performance of the countries. A rise in per capita GDP signals growth in the economy and tends to translate as an increase in productivity. For any component of the HDI, individual indices can be computed by applying the formula dimension index, which is actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value, and fixed minimum and maximum values have been set for each of the individual indices. These are as follows. For life expectancy at birth, minimum as 25 years, maximum as 85 years. For educational attainment, minimum as 0% and maximum as 100%. For real GDP per capita, PPP in dollar terms, minimum as $100 and maximum as 40,000, which is the PPP of US dollars. Therefore, life expectancy index is given by actual value minus 25, which is 85 minus 25. Education index is equal to 2/3 into actual value minus 0 plus 1/3 of actual value minus 0, and GDP index is equal to log actual value minus log 100 divided by log 40,000 minus log 100. So, HDI is then calculated by taking an average of these three individual indices. The value of the HDI can vary between 0 to 1. On the basis of the HDI value, one can rank and compare the countries on the basis of its performance in terms of these social indicators and not just a mere comparison between the incomes of the countries. Higher HDI implies higher human well-being, which further implies that a quality of life is better off in this country vis-a-vis the other country. Advantage of HDI. HDI is a composite index that tries to capture the building blocks for sustained economic development of any economy. That is, it takes into account the performance of the economy in terms of health and education, which are the important components of human capital. And as any economy progresses, the role of human capital becomes increasingly vital. It also divulges that a country with low level of income can do significantly better in terms of other parameters of development and vice versa. Two countries having the same amount of national income can be poles apart in terms of HDI value. So, inferences can be made about the potential of the long run performances of the two. Disadvantage of HDI. The problem of HDI is that it allows a mutual substitutability within all three dimensions which are used, and that similar countries which are very close in ranking that can have significantly different development in particular dimensions in a close look. HDI is an average of the individual indices. Therefore, the problem with any average, that is it being affected by extreme value, is there with HDI also. So, high value of HDI might just be because of high value of any two individual indices. Hence, it has a bias for the rich countries. In HDI, equal weights are given to all indices, which make it subjective and difficult to interpret in concrete terms. Gross enrollment ratio is an appropriate measure of education index, as it does not take into account the percentage of dropout rate at each stage. The role of quality, especially when HDI is covering the impact of social indicators, becomes important to access the well-being of the population. However, it appears to be missing in the calculation of HDI. New method of calculating HDI. It was published on 4th November 2010 and updated on 10th June 2011. The basic three dimensions of the new HDI remains the same, that is index on health, education and income of a country. The measure of long and healthy life remains the same as life expectancy at birth, whereas the index on a decent standard of living and education has changed. Education index, it has taken as the average of mean years of schooling, MYS in years, and expected years of schooling, EYS in years. MYS is the average number of years of education received by people ages 24 and older, converted from education attainment levels using official duration of each level. EYS is the number of years a child of school entrance age can expect to spend in a given level of education. A decent standard of living is GNI per capita minus gross national income which is GNI, and PPP in US dollars, is the sum of value added by all resident producers plus any product taxes, less subsidies, not included in the valuation of output, plus net receipts of primary income, which is compensation of employees and property income from abroad. The difference between gross domestic income GDI and GNI is the net factor income received from abroad. In the globalized world, there are cases where GNI may be a better indicator of a country's economic performance than GDP. Case of a nation such as Ireland, for example, where large scale repatriation of profits from foreign companies located there far exceeds the income flows from overseas. So much so that Ireland's GNI was 20% below its GDP in 2011, which means that although Ireland attracts substantial foreign investment that contributes to its economic growth, a big chunk of the profits arising from such foreign investment does not remain in the nation. Hence, GNI is a superior indicator of Ireland's performance than GDI, since the latter overstates the strength of the Irish economy. Importance of HDI in developing economies. Economists like Adam Smith, J.S. Mill emphasize the idea that freedom to lead a valuable life is intrinsically important to human beings, and hence the motivation of development economics is seen as uncompromisingly on the growth of income. In other words, the entitlements that a person possesses are tremendously important at the first place. Entitlements, as defined by Amartya Sen, are the commodity bundles that a person can command in the society using the totality of rights and obligation that he or she faces. Rights represent the benefits that are derived out of the different set of goods, and obligation is a sort of cost, that is in terms of the price tag attached to these set of goods. Entitlements generate the capacity to do certain things. They lie at the center of what we can do and what we can't do. Therefore, in this context, the development economics has shifted its focus to take a more inclusive view of economic development, which emphasize not only on material possessions but also on the kind of use that one can make out of these entitlements. Hence, we can say that the growth of income is not an end in itself. Real freedom depends on one's capability to make the most effective use of alternative combinations of entitlements. These human capabilities are dependent on a number of factors other than income. Of these, two most important factors affecting human capabilities are education and health. Good and proper education develops personality of the people, provides physical and mental standard, and transforms people's living status. It promotes the feeling of physical, mental and social well-being by providing better life. It helps us to earn recognition and respect in the family and society. It provides freedom from dogmatic values and negative thoughts. It helps in developing additional skills that are required in this ever-changing technological world. Similarly, better health is central to human happiness and well-being. Health may be described as a potentiality, the ability of an individual or a social group to modify himself or itself continually in the face of changing conditions of life, not only in order to function better in the present, but also to prepare for the future. According to World Health Organization, health makes an important contribution to economic progress, as healthy populations live longer, are more productive and save more. Due to all these reasons, health care as a right of every individual has been recognized in many countries. Thus, both these factors are regarded as a prerequisite for optimum socio-economic development of human beings. Both these parameters are adequately signified in the HDI. Thus, HDI is a better indicator to assess the economic well-being and quality of life for a community. Physical Quality of Life Index PQLI. Rapid economic growth raised average living standards in many countries around the globe in the 60s and the early 70s. But inequality also emerged as an issue. Prosperity bypassed large segments of the population, especially in developing countries, which stimulated a search for meaningful measure of development in terms of fulfillment of basic human needs. As some researchers showed up progress in the segments of the population that lacked essential human needs such as clean water, basic medical care, suitable housing and adequate calories. This led to the formulation of PQLI in the mid 1970s by Morris D. Morris. It is a composite index that attempts to assess the standard of living or the quality of life of the people in a country. It relies on three correlated social indicators to assess the well-being or development of the citizens of a country. The three indicators of PQLI are infant mortality rate or IMR. It is the number of deaths of infants under 1 year old per 1000 live births. Life expectancy at the age of 1, it is the number of years a 1-year-old child is expected to live, and basic literacy rate, the total percentage of the population of an area at a particular time age 15 years or above who can read and write with understanding. Morris found that most of the indicators were inputs to development process rather than a result of development process. Each indicator is sensitive to the distribution effect and none of them depends on any particular level of development. How to normalize indicators? In order to facilitate comparison between countries, Professor Morris placed each of these three cases on the scale of 0 to 100 to represent the best and worst levels in performance of indicator. Basic literacy can have a natural 0 for minimum and 100 for maximum. However, there exists no natural minimum or maximum values for other indicators. Thus, for life expectancy and infant mortality, actual minimum and maximum are taken into calculation. In the case of positive indicators of life expectancy and basic literacy, the best is shown by the maximum and the worst by the minimum. While in case of negative indicator of infant mortality, the best is denoted by minimum and the worst by the maximum. For converting the actual levels of a positive variable into normalized indicators, first the minimum values are subtracted from the actual values, then the gap is divided by the range. For positive indicators, the formula is achievement level is equal to actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value. For negative indicator of infant mortality, actual value has to be subtracted from the maximum value and the gap, if any, has to be dividing by the range. The formula is achievement level is equal to maximum value minus actual value divided by maximum value minus minimum value. PQLI is then calculated by taken as the average of the three variables. Advantage of PQLI. The PQLI method is superior because it is devoid of these flaws which exist in per capita GNP measures. The PQLI measure keeps in view the welfare consideration. It attaches the impact of economic growth with human betterment. Second, the PQLI can also be used like other indices to make comparison between countries. And third, the PQLI is useful in identifying the areas where social policy is lacking and hence immediate action is required. So, this index is particularly more useful for developing economies. Disadvantage of PQLI. One, the indexing process is not convincing mathematically. It leads to weird comparisons between countries, very different but have compensating values for literacy and life expectancy. There is a high degree of negative correlation between the two indicators, that is infant mortality rate and life expectancy. The index is thus criticized on theoretical grounds. Third, there is a problem of assigning weights to the various items which may depend upon the social, economic and political setup of the country. Many of the social indicators are subjective in character and differ from country to country. Equal weight assigned to each indicator undermines the value of the index in a comparative analysis of various countries. Fourth, the education index is inappropriate as it does not take into account the changes in human capital, which is an essential tool in measuring the overall development of human beings. Let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Development is a multi-dimensional concept that requires changes in the entire socio-economic cultural factors of an economy. It is a much broader concept than growth. Growth relies mainly on achieving higher levels of income in an economy. However, the distributional aspect of growth is limited and there could be high levels of inequality in the economy. Hence, with the shift of emphasis of development economics from mere increases in income to more human-centered policies, the importance of measures like Human Development Index and physical quality of life index becomes more pertinent. They emphasize the role of two important pillars of development, that is education and health. They also facilitate comparison of different countries in terms of their performance. Both the measures emphasize on the distributional aspect of growth.